Here is the current defending WBA welterweight champion of the world, introducing 54 milagros, Yordenis Ugas. Here is the popular and acclaimed, reigning and defending, undefeated IBF and WBC welterweight champion of the world, introducing the truth, Errol Spence Jr.
Errol Spence Jr. entered the fight as the WBC and IBF welterweight champion, but the bout carried significant intrigue because it was his return to the ring after overcoming major adversity.
To open that body up again, he's got to go downstairs, and you see
Pereira
shaking his head no.
Spence had survived a horrific car crash, which left him hospitalized and raised doubts about his boxing career.
Porter's got a little over a minute to do some damage. Back comes Spence, though.
Spence was adamant to reclaim his position as one of boxing's pound-for-pound best.
We try, obviously, with our cameras. As Porter goes down.
He's going to call it a...
Yordenis Ugas entered the fight as the WBA welterweight champion, having achieved a career-defining victory over Manny Pacquiao in 2021.
Coaching right there from Silas.
Exchange now. Maybe this is Pacquiao.
The fight was billed as a unification bout for 3 of the 4 major welterweight titles, making it one of the most significant fights of the year.
When he had a trainers roundtable, he didn't feel he was that impressed with what Ugas was able to do against Manny Pacquiao. Is the same fighter physically compared to that of before the accident?
Said Errol Spence was 40 to 50% in that fight. And there you see Ugas right away into the body of Errol Spence. And he said that.
Something that, big right hand, sweeping right hand, grazing shot by Ugas. You need these rounds. I mean, both men need every single round. So much on the line here. Going to the body himself. A left hook, and that'll conclude round 1. What did you take away from that first round, Miguel?
As for Ugas, he is typically a slow starter.
He goes, if I get a decision, fine, but my target, you see Spence was 9 of 73 for a 12% connect percentage.
Ugas was able to deal with the southpaw.
Spence.
But Spence has shown some physicality.
There's a right hand. It was blocked, though, by Spence. That the judges are watching that. And Spence looking to answer right back. Under a minute to go here in the second. Spence throws a left, and then he got countered at the end of the second. That Spence looks significantly better than that. Just a step sharper here in this fight against Ugas.
Yeah, he looks totally different in this fight.
There doesn't seem to be any hesitation from the undefeated WBC and IBF champion. And we begin round number 3. There's a nice
closer for Spence.
Spence is 10 of 97 from the jabs, 10 of 45 for Ugas. Spence throws nearly double that of Ugas. That has been the story in the first 2 rounds. As we head into the third. There's a left hook by Ugas. And now Spence looking to hammer away upon Ugas. Look at the truth go. It dates back to that of what we saw from him against Sean Porter in September of 19.
Absolutely, and in this division, and you know he wants to make a statement of his own against Yordenis Ugas.
Ferocity than what we've seen, at least in that fight that wasn't there against Danny Garcia.
First warning from Lawrence Cole. And there's a right hand that got through the defense.
That stopped Errol Spence, but Spence tries to turn it around.
Over between Spence and Ugas. Spence, the aggressor, been active, using his jab and really pushing off Spence and trying to land that right hand, which he has several times already.
The thing about Yordenis Ugas is typically Cuban fighters are tricky. Look at that combination. A right hand that was blocked by Spence, but a big shot there by Ugas. As we head towards round number 4, Ugas coming forward, and the action continues to heat up.
Because he ain't gonna fall one shot. You gotta keep breaking him down. Keep chopping and chopping and chopping.
So I I will say this to the audience. I apologize because it's so loud in here that I exactly determine what he's saying, and nor do I want to be incorrect. So I apologize. Tail end.
Yes, it's Spence. It was a tale of a half in that round where Spence came out very strong in the first half of that round, but then he got a little too over-aggressive, and then Ugas was able to counter.
Numerically through 3 rounds, Spence 36 of 88 for a 40% connect percentage power punch-wise. Ugas holds his ground in the center of that ring. He did it against
backing Spence up a bit.
But Spence is busy. I gotta say, Miguel, this is the most active and aggressive we've seen Errol Spence. There is a reason why this fight was so highly anticipated, because both men are 2 of the world's best, and they are putting it on.
And both are just going toe-to-toe right now. This is an incredible pace that
both men are in supreme condition as Spence rips the body.
And are very used to going into the championship rounds and still looking in fantastic shape.
To echo that point, Miguel, this is the leanest I've ever seen Errol Spence does, but this is next level.
There's a good jab from Spence. And you can see both the mutual respect between both men.
Straight left, Ugas hasn't been able to find him here in this 4th round, Miguel.
No, Spence has boxed beautifully and has darted in and out. Ugas. There's the body shots from Ugas right there on Spence.
What you do to the shoulder, you shoot with your eye. That's how you dipping it. That water in the ring. Oh, when you shoot it, make it.
Round 5, this one scheduled for 12. And Yordenis Ugas who holds 1.
And there's Spence right into the body again.
I think that Errol Spence wants to prove that there are no ill effects of what happened to him physically from that car accident. So Spence being the busier fighter, Ugas being more selective. Look at Errol Spence go try to bring the fight as he aims to back up Ugas.
That Spence has put on Ugas. And that one hurt Ugas, I believe.
Ugas might be hurt. And he might have been hurt.
It was a beautiful body shot with the right hook to the body, and then he came upstairs with an uppercut.
Spence is pounding on the body of Yordenis Ugas like how he did in the heavy bag in his gym. Look at this craftsmanship from the truth.
Because right now, Spence is teeing off.
It is target practice. Ugas is looking to weather the storm in hopes that Spence is going to tire himself out, but that is not to be the case. Under a minute left here in the 5th.
Good body shot from Spence, or excuse me, from Ugas. Keep Spence off of him. And now he is being the one
that he can be the bully. Oh, there was as Spence stayed in the pocket too long.
It's almost as if he's just happy to be back in the ring.
I think Spence is one of those guys, and I would gather to say that Ugas is one of those guys as well, which is why it is made for an entertaining matchup through 5.
Here's some of the body work, and Spence really was dominating this round early on. There was the huge right hook.
But back comes Yordenis Ugas. Even though Ugas was losing most of the round, he showed Spence with that uppercut. The WBA champion, Errol Spence, the WBC and IBF welterweight champion. Power punches round 5, Errol Spence 17 out of 53. So Spence once again is nearly doubling the punch output against Ugas.
He has said before, I have multiple ways I can win a fight. He doesn't believe Ugas can win fans.
Everyone thought that Mikey Garcia was the far superior boxer. People didn't think he could bully Sean Porter. Oh, big right hand.
And Spence is hurt.
But my goodness, what a sequence.
Spence is hurt.
Spence is hurt. Oh my God.
Spence is
hurt. Has Spence hurt. Oh my goodness.
And Spence is smiling still.
Whatever. Midway point of the 6th. You gotta be kidding me, Lawrence Cole.
And now Ugas ripping into the body.
You can't write a more drama-filled script like this in Hollywood.
Spence, if ever, hurt like he has been right here with another right hand from Ugas.
But did Spence recover? And both of them continue to hammer away. And chants of Spence echoing here in the stadium.
What a fight. Look at this. Both men toe-to-toe. And now Ugas. But he has remained on his feet, and he is still staying busy and active against Ugas.
And that ends the 6th.
Here's the replay. There was an uppercut, and that was the shot that put Spence's mouthpiece out, and I'm not sure exactly what Spence was doing right there. He went to go look for his mouthpiece.
Better referees in these positions. However, round 7, here we go.
You have to figure he is going to really ramp it up here in this 7th round.
If you're Ugas, you gotta be able to say, I was able to hurt him. 232 for a 37% connect percentage.
And an uppercut. Ugas is hurt.
Ugas is hurt. Ugas is hurt. Spence going on the attack.
Spence wants the knockout.
Ugas is hurt. Ugas' face is swelling. And now Spence looking for the finish. Ugas' face is looking like a mess. And Spence looking to close the show. Can he do it against the WBA welterweight champion? High-level prize fighting in a major way. Under a minute left here in the 7th. As Spence continues to pour it on in front of his hometown fans.
And now Spence digging into the body, and now
Ugas comes Ugas
Spence
with the counter right hand of his own. It's starting to bust up the Cuban in Yordenis Ugas. Fights of the year. Well, look at this, ladies and gentlemen.
His best punch of the fight so far. He has landed it numerous times already on Ugas.
By the body, the craftsmanship of Errol Spence on display as we head towards the 8th.
This is where he hurt Ugas, right here, an uppercut, and you saw Ugas wince right there. He was absolutely hurt. And then there was a left hand, it almost went to the throat of Errol Spence.
Spence was 39 of 97 in the 7th, Ugas.
And now we're here in round 8, and you can tell Spence is just fishing for the knockout. Showing it here.
This fight has lived up to the expectations, and now he goes. Errol Spence hammered away upon as the right eye of Yordenis Ugas is nearly shut.
Ugas has got to be more active. I don't think he's throwing nearly enough. He can hurt Spence. He has already. Punishment right now.
Playing devil's advocate, Miguel, I don't think that Ugas can see some of the punches that Spence is throwing at him because his right eye is swelling. Look at Errol Spence poured on. His almost losing their minds as they feel that Errol Spence, the hometown son.
You need to feel a sense of urgency. You are on the brink of having this fight stop due to that eye. It was very
that
close.
Ugas has got to do something to show everybody at ringside that he is still very much in this fight. Spence, pick up the pace again. That ends the round. My goodness.
What are you feeling? You're tired? You're tired? How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? Yeah.
Here we saw Spence, and he's just unloading with that left hand on that right eye of Ugas. Round 9, and Spence, he can smell it. He is moments away, he feels, from Spence.
And you see that Spence coming out, starting very much aggressive here in the 9th. Eye swelling shut, continues to pour it on and fight with such guts and heart.
And there was Lawrence Cole warning Spence about keeping the punches up again. His corner upset, felt like that should have been a point. He was
Big
already
look there by Spence here in the 9th. Look at Spence. It is just target practice. As for every fourth, it is a fact that Spence is beating Ugas to the punch. If there was any doubt, if Errol Spence still had it, if he still was at the top of his game, with a resounding yes against Yordenis Ugas, that body shot might have hurt.
Spence was coming in, and Spence kind of winced, and now Ugas backs away. That right eye is in bad, bad shape.
But Ugas keeps
continue to put in the work on Spence's body.
There's a shot to the body by Ugas. Heavy artillery towards the way of Yordenis Ugas.
I mean, they're above the belt line.
Try telling Lawrence Cole that. Round number 10 on what has been a wickedly entertaining welterweight championship affair.
When you hit him down in the body, it hurts. So keep on, and then you come back with the haymaker.
This one is scheduled for 12.
You know I'm gonna push you back.
Control since the 7th round on body shots. Spence, 66, just 28 for Ugas.
But Ugas is not throwing enough.
It goes back to your point, Miguel. It doesn't go your way. You got to think, what if I would have thrown more? High-level matchup between Ugas and Spence.
And Spence has been in the lion's den.
Ugas got backed up, and he took probably 3 or 4 steps backwards. And now Errol senses that would be the most gratifying, most
there's an uppercut that hurt Ugas.
This would be the biggest win in the career of the welterweight division if he can stop the Cuban champion in Yordenis Ugas.
On his bicycle, trying to escape Spence.
Continues to pound away on the left side of Yordenis Ugas. And this one is over. Errol Spence Jr. has stopped Yordenis Ugas as Errol Spence Jr. now holds the WBC, the IBF, and now the WBA welterweight crown.
And then sometimes I was being over patient, and then I was like just throwing punches instead of just picking my shots. But I think, you know, that was due to the long layoff, and I was, you know, super excited to get back in the ring, and I was trying to push the pace more than I needed it to.
He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is still undefeated, and now the WBC, WBA, and IBF unified welterweight champion of the world, the Truth, Errol Spence